I'm Captain Andrea.
And I'm Commander Matthew.
And welcome to Trek Back Tuesday,
The show that takes a look at Star Trek merchandise from across the galaxy, old and new, and today we've got a new one to take a look at.
Yes, we do. We have some Bendy figs from the Noble Collection.
That's right, these were provided to us, in fact, by the Noble Collection, so let you guys know up front, and again, a thank you to Noble Collection for sending these our way.
Yes.
So this is Series 1, and, we've got a good portion of the original bridge crew here.
Yes, we do.
But Captain, I have to ask you before we get too deep, did you play with Bendy figs growing up?
I honestly don't know. I feel like there were a few Bendy figs in my life, but I don't think there were any ones that I specifically purchased. I might have borrowed from my brother or, got from a friend. But I don't think I really had a lot of Bendy figs in my life.
Same, yeah. I think I might have had like one or two that were gifted to me.
Yeah.
I didn't go out of my way to get these. I have a lot of friends who had them, and they were pretty fond of them, but
yeah,
wasn't my thing. It was kind of like you loved them or hated them kind of thing.
I liked them. That's the thing. I liked them. Anytime I saw them at a doctor's office or, just someplace where they had some, junk lying around for kids, I definitely played with them. I enjoyed playing with them. I just don't think I had a lot of them.
Yeah. I think one of the big reasons I didn't really seek them out was because I just didn't like the way they looked. Typically, they were very much more stylized, and their detail was kind of not great. They were always, really... Well, obviously, they're rubbery, because that's what they're made of, but, the details and the sculpts were pretty bland and not great.
Yeah, basically, the one that always comes to mind when I think of any kind of Bendy fig is Gumby.
Yeah.
Gumby was it, because you couldn't go wrong with Gumby.
Yeah, I had Gumbies. I had all the Gumbies. But yeah, I don't think I ever got any Star Trek-related Bendies, actually.
I definitely did not have that.
So yeah, my first reaction, and you guys are seeing what these guys look like in the package right now, but my first reaction upon seeing these was, these are actually pretty impressive.
Yeah, I kind of like them. I mean, just looking at the package, I really like the bodies. I think that they're pretty decent. I don't really since I haven't seen them out of package yet, just first impression is kind of cool. Definitely curious about them.
So before we go too deep into the figures, though, let's just talk about this packaging real quick. And it's pretty nice packaging here, and it would definitely look good on a shelf if you got them in box.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is what seems to be the uniformed Star Trek design nowadays. And so that makes it really cool, because if you have a Star Trek collection and it's the more modern stuff, it's all going to match. It doesn't matter which company it came from. It's all going to match. And that's really nice. It adds a nice uniformity to it.
And it's really simple packaging, so there's not really much to really talk about beyond that. But it is cool that you can see everything that's in there, which includes accessories. Which,
yes.
That I'm really excited about, because they're Bendy figs with accessories. That's unexpected.
Yeah, I'm extremely excited about accessories. I mean, in general, I love accessories.
Yeah.
But to have it on a Bendy fig is really weird, and I like it. I like that weirdness. It's different. So as we said, this is the first wave, Series 1. And of course, we have the big three. We have Spock, Captain Kirk, and Dr. McCoy. And rounding out the four, we have the communicator herself, Uhura.
It's kind of nice to actually have a female in the first wave, too. It's a little bit of a surprise.
Mm-hmm. That makes me very happy. When there aren't a lot of females in a cast, they usually wait until wave 2 or 3 before they start bringing out the females. So I'm really glad that they acknowledged Uhura and, her contributions, in the first wave. But enough about the outside. We want to see the figures inside. Commander Matthew, beam them out.
Hi, Captain. Bendy figs are aboard the bridge, Captain.
Nice alliteration.
Thank you. Thank you for noticing.
So here we have them out of package.
And the first thing I think we have to talk about is those likenesses.
Yes, we do.
Again, we have to keep in mind these are Bendy figs. I don't really hold Bendy figs to the same level I would hold really any other figure.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No. I wouldn't either, but there are some fun things to note.
And they're actually not terrible sculpts. Again, keep in mind that they are Bendy figs. I'm actually really impressed by how detailed they are.
Yeah, I mean, physically, the bodies are fantastic. They look like those of the actors.
They are unique, too. Yeah, I think they're unique for each character.
Yeah, there definitely seems to be Spock's a little slimmer, and his shirt's a little bit smoother. McCoy's a little bit more wrinkly, especially in the back over here. Kirk, of course, is in his, yellow shirt. Uhura's the only one where I'm a little bit I'm not sure how I feel about it, just because Nichelle Nichols is a very slight woman, and this Uhura is a little thicker.
Yeah.
But you know what? I also kind of appreciate the thickness. It makes it easier for her to be, more sturdy and look on the stand.
I think that's kind of the thing with the Bendy figs too. Is you can't have a thin Bendy fig.
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't want anything thin. But again, since we're talking about the different body types for the guys, I think I would have liked it if they could have, just tapered it a little bit, maybe. But she still looks great.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, that's kind of the interesting again. What you talk about the Bendy figs is the process to make them, because if you look at their faces, like they're actually not bad in terms of sculpts, but they're a little bit chunkier, looking a little bit chubby because they have to have more mass because of the material.
Yeah, exactly. But if we're going to talk about the faces, real quick, I have to point this out. McCoy might be my favorite face because, again, we're not holding them to the kind of standards we do for pretty much anything else. But McCoy's eyes are painted just a tiny bit off center. They're just like the littlest bit off center, so he kind of has really creepy, weird eyes. But it's hilarious because it has the bags that, DeForest Kelly had. It has you can see the shape of the face, which makes it really cool. But then the eyes are just a little not where they're supposed to be.
A little
And
froggy.
It's hilarious.
A little froggy, but yeah, I mean, on that note too, the paint jobs are also, I think,
They're
pretty
great.
decent too. And that's something I was worried about too with Bendy figs, is that you'd probably be globbing on the paint and that would be kind of bad. No, they're actually decent. I mean, even Spock has his eyeshadow, the signature Vulcan eyeshadow.
Yes, I love the signature Vulcan eyeshadow. And this, I think the Spock might be the best one of them because that looks so much like Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah.
It's a little eerie.
It's a very good sculpt. I think I would have to agree. I mean, I think DeForest Kelly's probably number 2, and Kirk is number 3, and then Uhura's at the bottom of the list.
Yeah, unfortunately, Uhura is definitely at the bottom.
Kirk's a little Elvis-y, but other than that, I think it looks all right.
But you know what's funny? This looks like a combination of William Shatner and, oddly enough, Chris Hemsworth, who played Kirk's father in the JJ version of Trek. It looks like a weird combination of the two. Like, take a look at it.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. He's got that kind of facial structure.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. I mean, I'm not mad at it. You
It's a
know?
love child of Thor and Captain Kirk.
Yeah. Well, early Kirk, because early Kirk was kind of hot. But yeah, I think if we're going in terms of likeness, it's Spock, McCoy, Kirk, and poor Uhura.
Yeah. But it's cool that she has her earpiece, and again, paint job is actually fairly clean. I think the only spot where it gets a little iffy is the hands.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, everything else is fairly smooth and decent. So nothing really worth complaining about. They're looking pretty nice.
And we also got to talk about the variation of paint jobs too, because that's also really cool. They have the gold on their sleeves, and that's definitely a shinier, more metallic kind of vibe. But also on the boots, boots are shiny while the rest of them are matte, and I really like that they put that kind of attention to detail in there.
They're really going the extra mile with these, and they're Bendy figs for crying out loud, which is why we're like really surprised and marveling at this, because they're not normally the type of figures that get this kind of attention.
I know. It's just really cool. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. It's really unexpected.
Yeah, it really is. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
And what's also unexpected is, as we mentioned at the start of this video, the amount of accessories. And as you can see right now, they're all on their bases. So yeah, just so you guys can see, this is what the base looks like. Again, very nice base. Like, I would love this for just an actual action figure.
That's an awesome base. It's super sturdy.
I don't think this will fit in. No, it definitely would not fit in other figures. Those peg holes are really big, but yeah, that's how they are. So you've got peg hole for both feet there. That's like excellent, and it's a nice like beefy base. This has some weight to it to help keep them up there. So you guys can see already that Uhura has her communicator. I didn't put the accessories yet on these guys here. So Spock has his classic tricorder, which is again,
looks
painted really great.
Oh my god, there's texture there.
Yeah,
like that. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, and it actually is a little bit bendy too. So yeah, you can get this around his arm over there.
Oh my gosh.
Flop it into that.
That puts the Playmate stuff to shame.
Kind of does, yeah. And then we'll put a communicator in his hand too, and we're kind of showing off some of the articulation at the moment. And Kirk as well, he's got a communicator, which you guys can see. You've already seen in his hands, but his unique accessories, he is the only one that comes with a phaser.
Huh.
And his hand is meant to specifically grip that phaser.
Oh, that looks really good.
So yeah, that's how that looks over there.
That looks like Shatner right there.
Yeah, this is classic Shatner. So that's how that looks. That looks really nice, actually. That's surprisingly good.
Mm-hmm. And again, with the communicators, it's all the right hand, but the hand holds it.
You can see here, yeah, it's doing it.
Yeah, and okay, so finally, we have Dr. McCoy. And of course, he has his communicator, but he also comes with a med pack, which is really cool because it actually has a peg for the body. But on top of that, you see it like this, but it actually, if I can do it, because I had it all nice and sturdy before, it opens up.
Wow, that's impressive.
I mean, look at this.
That's really nice, too.
This is, again, the detail on this. These accessories right here put most action figure companies to shame.
Hate to say it, but it's true.
No, it is 100% true, and I'm not ashamed to say it, because the detail on this, he's got vials, and they're painted cleanly.
Yeah, very clean.
He's got his hypo spray, but the thing is, you can tell. You can tell the difference. And then, when you close it closes up in forms
it actually folds into a compartment.
Yeah, it folds into a compartment. It's so different. and so good.
That was a really good accessory. I was shocked how good that was.
Yeah, this just, it's fantastic. And again, see, he has this little compartment right here. You just stick it in and there he's holding it. I'm so surprised by these figures, you know?
Yeah.
The one thing that we haven't talked about is possibly the most important thing because it's right there in the name.
It's the most defining element.
Exactly. How do they bend?
And you guys already kind of get a preview of that. But yeah, let's each grab one and just, I don't know, let's see how they move here. So they're bendy figs, which means they should be very articulated. And, you know, again, they are stiff out of the box bendy figs. Who knew I'd ever sat with a bendy fig? But yeah, I mean, they're moving all right. I mean, you guys can see what the back looks like too. It's got all those air holes, if you will, to make sure it moves.
Love the air holes.
Yeah.
Horace just like, I'm just walking.
So I can't really turn his waist, unfortunately, at all. It's a little stiff. I'm afraid to do it too much without ripping it. But, I mean, they bend enough. The arms bend. I mean, it's super stiff because these are fresh out of the box. But, I mean, yeah, they look pretty good. And the fact that they actually do have those folds in the fabric, too, like, you know, make it work. You know, I think these are the kind of figures that you play with more of a time. That's going to be the looser they become. But as is, you know, gets the job done. This is fine for me. I'm content with that.
Yeah, I mean, these are bendy figs. I mean, look. Oh, Horace talking. Oh, I do want to point out that she has her green earrings, which I love.
Oh, wow. That's a nice detail, too. Wow.
Yeah.
They really got everything on this.
They really went to town. I mean, we didn't even talk about the logos.
Oh, yeah. They have all the correct logos on their badges.
Yeah, this is amazing.
And we should also mention, too, that Uhura has one of the most important elements of any action figure, and that's she has underwear.
Yep.
That's a weird thing to say, but it's true, folks. Because this is the 90s. She wouldn't have that.
It's an awkward thing to discuss. No, she might in the 90s.
Hers did. Hers did, but, you know, a lot of toy companies, they kind of skim down on things like that.
Or what they would do is they would do them the same color. They would build them into the figure themselves, and it would get a little weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Ahura comes with underwear, which is, I'm sure, going to make many parents happy. Whatever. But these are just so cool.
Yeah, these are really nice figures. I mean, I would have probably never looked at these bendy figs if Noble Collection hadn't sent them to us.
Yeah. I'll agree with that, too, because I feel like we're maybe a little bit past the age of bendy figs. But now I'm beginning to maybe shift my thoughts on that a little. Because
I think
these are pretty cool.
I think more so these are like meant for adult collectors who have those nostalgic memories of bendies. Because these will look great in package. These will look great as is loose, too.
Oh, yeah.
They're definitely a more sophisticated bendy fig.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you know, they've really elevated what I expect from this type of toy. And, you know, as far as the Star Trek piece of merchandise goes, like, real surprising knockout. I think, like, collectors are probably sleeping on this, but they shouldn't because these are damn good.
These are not your mama's or your kids' bendy figs.
No, absolutely not. So if you want to learn more about these figures, go to Noble Collection's website. We're going to have links for that below, so make sure you visit them.
So that's our look at the Star Trek bendy figs from the Noble Collection. I'm Captain Andrea.
I'm Commander Matthew, and until next time, live long and buy toys.